Welcome everyone to the JetBlue presentation at Octane 21. Today, the JetBlue team will be sharing the story of their digital transformation with insights from both business and technology leaders. Identity and access management was a key element in this journey. You'll hear about their strategic vision, project goals, and how the organization came together to make this happen. I'm so glad we have this opportunity to share this story with such a large audience. I'm Christine Cognetti, a customer success executive at Okta. I work with JetBlue throughout their implementation with a focus on the Okta Go Live. Let's meet our presenters. From JetBlue, we have Maryssa Miller and Manu Verma. Maryssa Miller leads digital and customer product team and is responsible for the JetBlue digital vision and strategy and for all customer-facing solutions for JetBlue.com, mobile, and airport technology. Manu Verma leads technology program delivery for digital, customer experience, and operational products. During the Okta implementation, Manu was heavily involved in leading the team and driving them to a successful go live. We're going to be enabling the chat feature throughout this session. If at any point during the session you have questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat, and the JetBlue team will do their best to answer them. On today's agenda, Maryssa is going to take us through JetBlue's digital strategy and vision. We'll hear about how they streamlined their customer experience and enhanced their loyalty program to ultimately improve bookings. Maryssa will also share some of their plans for the future. Manu will then tell us about the Okta project, why they chose Okta, their phased delivery approach, and a deep dive on the transformation of architecture at JetBlue. I'll come back at the end with details about the Okta and JetBlue partnership and how the customer first team at Okta worked with JetBlue to ensure the project's success. Let's get started. Over to you, Maryssa.
Thank you, Christine, and hello, everyone. I really wish I could be with all of you in person, but I'm happy to be here today with you virtually to take you through our digital transformation here at JetBlue. So several years ago, we started embarking on a new transformation program, which we called at the time Digital 2020. And the reason for the name was obviously it was a 3-year plan to get to the year 2020, in addition to having 2020 vision as to where we want to go. Who would have thought where we would wind up in the year 2020? But I'm pleased to walk you through how we worked through our transformation and really made a huge difference in our digital products. So our original digital vision was to, one, invest in technology for better and faster delivery, and that included working with business partners like Okta. And two, to fundamentally reinvent how customers purchase travel. It's sort of become a standard today of how you book your flights and get through your travel experience. And we really wanted to focus on doing some things differently and better for our customers. And then three, to digitally deliver peace of mind during the day of travel. Although many of you may not remember a world where you were traveling all the time, it's always very stressful. And we wanted to focus on ways that we can make that journey much less stressful for our customers. All of this rolled up to our overall vision for JetBlue, which is inspiring humanity. And we are focused on inspiring humanity through digital excellence. So I'll walk you through how we went through that program. So, of course, our strategy is to build revenue and to enable self-service. So we focused on increasing conversion by innovating our notifications and creating a much improved booking experience at JetBlue.com and through our mobile applications. We've really hit the tipping point where the majority of our visits are on our mobile applications these days, and we're still focused on improving that experience. In fact, we have a new release that's coming out very shortly with a brand new booking flow on our mobile channels that you'll see in production very soon. And then for our enabling self-service, we really focused on the entire journey and making that a much more seamless experience from the time that you check in, hopefully on your mobile device, all the way to the time you board. We were actually the first airline in the US to launch our biometrics program, and it fully rolled out in the year 2020 in JFK. And although we haven't had as many people get to experience it as we like, it actually served a great second purpose of being fully contactless. So then we added our contactless delivery for our kiosk so that you have a fully contactless experience during your day of travel. We've also added a lot of additional self-service functionality to allow our customers to own their journey through their manage your booking, check-in, and our app functionality. So over the years 2017 to 2020, we focused on all of our key areas, including, as I mentioned, our iOS and Android apps, our kiosk, desktop, and mobile check-in, JetBlue.com, our notifications, and booking. And we've pretty much replaced all of the, the back-end technology that was underpinning all of these things. So we've improved our applications greatly. At this point, we're close to having a 5-star application, and we've won several awards recently, which we're very proud about, including a JD Power Award and a Webby Award for our application experience. We've also improved all of our kiosk and rolled out self bag tag for customers. So now you can self tag your own bag and no longer have to wait on lines. Our desktop experience is now fully responsive, as well as our mobile check-in experience. For JetBlue.com, we focused really heavily on merchandising. We also have a brand new digital design system that rolled out with this transformation. And that was everything from our font to our accessibility across all of our digital properties and all of our graphic design. The end of last year, we rolled out a new notifications platform, particularly for push notifications on our applications. And we have big plans for this and to make that a more personalized one-to-one experience for our customers, so you know exactly the right information that you need at the right time. And last but not least, booking. We work with several business partners to enable our booking experience. We've also rolled out new options like fare options over the past year that make it more seamless for the customer. And we're going to be launching our new responsive booking platform within the next quarter. Here's just an example of some of the applications that we've rolled out, and you can see a little bit of the customer experience. So in the top part is our contactless kiosk check-in experience. We've also really improved our mobile loyalty experience, and you'll see a lot more coming out in our loyalty portal this year on apps, as well as a brand new loyalty platform overall. We also have our overall merchandising for things like our co-brand credit card. And on the left side, you can see our new login experience, which is where we work with Okta. So we've had a lot of transformation across all of our products. We also this past year rolled out Cash Plus Points, which is a great way for customers to be able to use any of the points that they have remaining in addition to cash. So you no longer need to have thousands of points to book a flight. You can actually basically get a discount off of your flight by using some of those points to get to your next destination. I'll talk about some of the product milestones that we reached, including our preference center. I already mentioned Cash Plus Points, but we'll talk about the notifications platform, our responsive booking, and overall our touchless kiosk and biometrics. So preference center is a way for us to be able to store and maintain customers' data in the way that they want to manage it. It's a one-stop shop for customers to input the information that makes the most sense to them, as well as control their options. So some of this is driven by the GDPR mandate. Of course, we have some legal requirements we need to meet, but we also want to give customers a lot more control over their own data, as well as provide a better experience for them. So the Preference Center is meant to enable their wishes and be able to provide a much more personalized experience for them. Cash Plus Points I already mentioned, as well as our notifications platform and our responsive booking. And then touchless kiosks and biometrics, we still have big plans for this to continue to roll this out across many different airports. And we're also focused on identity management across all of our touch points, because that is a huge part of enabling a seamless customer experience. And this is an example of driving loyalty through our enhanced customer experience. So on the left, you can see a little bit of the preference center, your personal information. We're going to continue to expand on this. So what you see today is just the beginning of how we're going to drive customers' preferences. And on the right is an example of the Cash Plus Points and our slider feature. So you can ramp up and ramp down how many points you want to use, as well as how much cash you want to use in order to get to your next trip. That we also have a similar Cash Plus Points on our vacations experience as well, so that you can book a fully inclusive vacation. On the horizon, as I mentioned, we have our responsive website coming up. So that's going to be rolling out this next quarter, and that's a fully reimagined booking experience for across all of our digital platforms, but particularly to improve the mobile experience. So we're going to be maintaining just one code base, which would be a huge benefit for everyone here at JetBlue to be able to really focus on the right booking experience. We're going to innovate our digital products. So we're continuing to focus on products and functionality that to better communicate with our customers through personalized content, particularly within our notifications platform. And then overall, we're continuing to enhance our digital foundations to maintain and continually innovate across all of our foundations, including the app, JetBlue.com, and our check-in solution. So we're really proud of what we've done and transforming all of our digital products and really replacing every piece of technology that we have. But overall, we think we've created a much better experience. We've seen our metrics improve as well as far as our direct digital share. So the number of customers that are booking directly through our applications has improved quite a bit, as well as our conversion continues to improve as well. So, as we monitor our metrics over the course of these years, we've really seen a shift change in how customers are interacting with our digital technology for a much more seamless experience. And with that, I will turn it over to Manu, who will walk you through how we were able to implement a lot of these programs through the back end, including our choosing of Okta.
Thanks, Maryssa, and great to be with all of you virtually. As we were looking for an identity solution for our digital products for customers, there were a variety of factors that were considered by the teams across organizations, since a core product that's shared by multiple teams for multiple use cases also generated a list of basic and nice to have functionalities. With over 1.5 million TrueBlue customers logging in daily from multiple paths within the website or the app, whether you're iOS or Android, or even when you're flying with us using FlyFi, solving for scalability and availability of the system became the topmost priority. Our e-commerce systems are designed for scale and are available for the aim of 100% with similar SLAs with all of our partners. In Okta, we were able to find all of that. Just like our own product roadmap, we find a lot of similar themes and values within the Okta feature roadmap as well. With the integrations in our ecosystem currently, the value of the PII data and the level of trust needed had to be much higher than our legacy product. Since are basically distributed in a large platform, we also wanted to make sure that as one of our cornerstones that our partners are able to integrate with us easily. And we really live and breathe in the API world. So any new products or technologies that we end up partnering in the future, we needed to make sure that they would be able to onboard them with fair ease. The very first touch into our digital products comes with authentication of the customer, and the entire session of purchase is really dependent on it. So it really goes just beyond telling us who you are. The individual policy management of the application is also something that was extremely attractive to our tech folks. It really matters. And so, in the end, it really matters and goes beyond just authenticating. And last but not the least, one of our biggest driving factors towards Okta was to leave our legacy product behind as it was going out of support at the beginning of October last year. So we were facing a big deadline on our end, and we also wanted our internal engineering teams in ways to just focus on producing great digital content than working on building an auth solution internally. Very initially, when we were doing a build versus buy exercise, we did a couple of POCs with Okta and were very pleased. As we firmed out our plans of execution, we really set three tenets into our delivery philosophy. First and foremost, no disruption of the customer at the front end and avoid hard cutovers. That would really put too much on the line in one go. We also wanted to make sure that all the applications that consuming Okta are able to provide a true SSO experience, as our paths to sign in are plenty in the ecosystem. We also put a lot of emphasis on data migration activity and dedicated a small team to it throughout the entirety of the execution, since we would note a great deal of regular data issues such as funny formatting, and we learned about the systems at Okta, and we would actually learn about the systems at Okta, how it would really react to our initial load testing with our loyalty management software. And lastly, we really did this with our existing Agile Scrum team framework, spanning over two program increments which are 6 sprints each, instead of collapsing and making a singular one for minimal disruption. This way, teams were able to prioritize other work that they had committed to, and not just Okta per se. Now I'm going to go through a very high level target architecture that we were aiming for in replacing our legacy solutions. As I mentioned, our systems are really designed for high traffic, high consumption at any given time during the year. There are also a ton of uh, back jobs that happen to make sure that the data is being accessed by other apps within the company to make sure we are able to support customer during the entire travel ribbon. Within with the teams on JetBlue's side, Okta dedicated Joe and Ryan and Christine, and we were able to partner with other architects and developers to develop solutions for multiple applications altogether. We decided at our initial planning we needed to divide the program in two phases. Phase one would be the introduction of Okta to our existing ecosystem, which would include the completion of data migration, integration of Okta to be our primary auth broker, and our legacy as secondary. This would include migration of Delta data changes and from legacy solution to Okta. We migrated the first round of applications to utilize Okta JWT tokens and still keeping the legacy solution as secondary broker using a common identifier. We also performance tested the system multiple times before the end of phase one. Phase two would be weaning off of the legacy solution and make Okta the sole auth authenticator only. Dividing the program, or basically phasing the program this way, really helped us in multiple ways. First, it took away hard cutovers, which is really an all or nothing scenario, and also protected customer experience at the same time. Also, it gave us a view as to how Okta would behave in our current ecosystem. It also gave us time to really work with our loyalty management partners and our customer support teams to make sure customers were covered not only from an experience perspective, but also be able to help out customer support in case customers were having challenges with password reset or any other identity issues. As with any major program, we did have some big milestones. Although our data migration team was working well from the beginning of 2020, the pedal to the metal really came at the beginning of March, wherein the core team with the Okta professional services teams were able to chart out the program in phases as I described earlier. We did go into the first BI with a ton of development on the backend side, especially for customer profiles, and rewrote them for cloud. The challenge we saw was not only support cloud-based applications in our ecosystem, which are a majority, but also a few applications that are literally on-prem. With the first phase, we cut over the night of July 23rd, and the system responded really well with only a few customer issues that got reported, which were really edge cases. We did lose out about a week going into phase two while we were solving for those customer issues, but then went into phase two to make sure the Okta became our sole auth broker. We migrated the remaining applications to utilize Okta JWT tokens and removal of our legacy identity solution. We again had multiple rounds of performance testing to make sure, and it took us actually a couple of tries to get all of the applications and run over in phase two. We did heavily monitor the performance of the system and noted no major customer issues that had popped up about 4 weeks into. Along this journey, we had a ton of lessons learned that we absorbed, but some of them really stood out to us. We found that Okta was able to handle the system load and customer traffic for password reset and enrollments really well. Another one was especially around compatibility and a scale distribution system. Okta just comes with a host of features, and within our own system, we only could pick a couple of features that we could really use in our ecosystem. An example of such a feature is Threat Insight, which we deployed and enabled after a month of cutover, and currently using it in multiple forms to make sure we are able to trace bad actors, phishing, credential stuffing, etc., which is immensely beneficial to our CISO group and our overall enterprise. With more PII data and compliance, we are really trying to solve for some business use cases in and around customer data. Earlier, we didn't have a view into the using of our legacy product, but with our recent migration to Snowflake Data Warehouse, we have started to develop queries to better understand these customer analytics. In the entire duration of the program, and with the business environment coupled with the pandemic, from an execution standpoint, where we saw the entire team taking a very, very end-to-end approach for program delivery. And lastly, when we embarked upon this journey, we didn't really prepare for a remote world and going through its own digital transformation. So the team had to learn the way of working pretty fast, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time, since we are a very, very visible and a collaborative environment with tons of whiteboarding happening constantly within the teams, and traditionally would actually have war rooms for major cutovers like this. But in this case, even during the challenging time, we were able to do it virtually. So it was a big lift off for the team. So again, let me thank you for letting myself and Maryssa tell you about our digital transformation journey and identity journey. We hope you'll be safe and well, and good luck with your own identity journeys. And with that, Christine, back to you.
Thanks, Manu. I just love hearing that story. There's so much that other customers can learn from everything that you went through. Really appreciate you giving us all those details. So Okta and JetBlue have a very tight partnership that's developed and strengthened throughout this project. The customer first team at Okta embodies professional services, education, support, customer success, and renewals. And all of these teams played a really important role on the JetBlue project. To start out with, this was a professional services run project. They were there every step of the journey to provide best practices, architectural, and technical guidance. They knew the JetBlue architecture and desired end state, and with that knowledge, they were able to help JetBlue make the best choices to meet these goals. The education team set a solid foundation by delivering a 4-day training event at the start of the project. This meant the JetBlue team members knew the Okta product and were able to take advantage of the subsequent sessions with PS. Support provided ongoing break-fix assistance throughout the project, and they were in lockstep with JetBlue at Go Live to make sure they had resources available on a moment's notice. This was really critical. And another key piece to this project was customer success and executive alignment. JetBlue knew they had the focus of Okta at all levels. Frequent conversations and touch points meant no surprises for anyone. The collaboration among the customer first group at Okta with the JetBlue team throughout the implementation was a really important factor in the overall success of this project. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Maryssa and to Manu for sharing the JetBlue story. Like I mentioned before, there's so much that other customers can learn from this presentation. We are really excited to see how JetBlue continues to evolve in their digital journey. Now, we've done our best to answer all of your questions in the chat, but if there are additional questions, please feel free to pass them along to us. Our emails and LinkedIn profiles are listed here, and we would love to continue this conversation. Thank you so much for your time today, and we hope you found this presentation helpful. Enjoy the rest of Octane 21.